Welcome back. We're getting very close to the end, and it's great to see there's still a large group. So, can I get your attention? So we have 3 things left before we can all go home. The first one will be keynote for day 3. Then we'll have the award ceremony. Seamlessly, we'll just move into the award ceremony, and then we'll all move together to City Hall for a reception hosted by the municipality and the network of Michelin cities. But we'll start with the keynote. It's unusual to have keynotes at the end of the day. It's unusual to have 3 keynotes for 3 days. It's also unusual to have a recorded keynote, but here we go. We have our third keynote is actually a recorded keynote by Nnenna Nwakanma, who's a global AI ambassador from Health AI. She couldn't join us, unfortunately, but she's recorded a keynote for us. So whenever we're ready, Rajesh, we can go on with the video message.
Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, champions, journalists, leaders, boys and girls, cats and dogs, AI assistants and robots, they are all. Hello, my name is Nnenna. I come from the internet, and it's been a great 3 days following the GDN conference. I want to be grateful to the organizers for allowing me to challenge you as you leave. Yes, we have had 3 excellent days discussing issues of global concern. So as we draw this inspiring conference to a close, I would like to leave you with challenge, with a rallying cry. Let us make it count. Let us make it count. This is my call. This is my challenge. This is my ambition as we go away from Clermont-Ferrand. Yes, we have explored. Yes, we have debated. Yes, we have exchanged. Yes, we have networked. Now is the time to go home and make it all count. I like to throw a few discussion topics. The very first is infrastructure. Yes, we did talk a lot about it. I've listened, I've learned. From roads and ports to digital networks, our infrastructure is the artery through which opportunity flows in the digital world. The World Bank has let us know that for every $1 invested in infrastructure, we can generate more than $2.50 for economic growth. Yet, nearly half of the world's population still lacks this access, the basic access to reliable electricity, to broadband coverage, and all. Yes, DPI is the New Deal, and I remember that as of 2024, approximately 3.7 billion people, that is half of our global population, are still offline. So when I say I'm Nnenna from the internet, please understand that the very first thing I want to talk about is having the infrastructure that will allow us, equip us for digital development. Digital infrastructure is not a luxury, it is a necessity. I recall that the IMF estimates that countries that invest in infrastructure and connectivity are boosting their GDP growth by 1.5%. So for me, digital connectivity enhances access to services, markets, information. It is a driver for inclusion and the power to innovate. So while we're speaking about innovation and markets and financing and all of that, I think that we need to think more closely about infrastructure as we go from here and make it count. So for me in Africa, where mobile phone penetration will exceed 80%, digital markets are transforming lives. From mobile banking in Kenya to Nigeria to Abidjan, my home city, across to Egypt, Nairobi, everywhere. So I think that infrastructure is our key to having a sustainable digital development. The people like me, people like you, people everywhere, we are the ones who count. We are the ones that should not be left behind. We are the ones to give development its real meaning. We are the core of every success story. We are the most potent resource in creativity and resilience. We are the people. Is that not what the UN says? So investing in education and health increases productivity and economic growth significantly, up to 15%. Yes, the global youth population is projected to reach 1.3 billion in 2030, with many in developing regions lacking access to quality education and digital skills. So when we have the infrastructure, we still need to build the people. Digital skills are essential. I think the OECD data reveals that workers with digital literacy are 2.5 times more likely to be employed than those without. So we cannot develop if we do not develop the skills, and digital skills are the basis on which we build digital development. Less than 20% of the youth in the developing world have digital skills. So you need to develop us, we need to develop everyone so that the digital infrastructure can be matched with the digital skills. And then we can have the digital development in a sustainable way that we are looking at. The policies. Yes, someone must make a difference. Someone must make a decision. Someone must make a difference in leadership that will lead to sustainable digital development. Good policies are the blueprint for sustainable development. Make no mistake around it. Like Dangote said, you can have all of the money you want, but if you live in a badly governed economy, you are a poor man, because you can wake up in the morning and find out that everything you've built has gone to waste. So good policies, good governance is, I believe, one of the keys that we need to go home and ensure that we are making it happen. They set the boundaries within which innovation thrives, and inequalities will diminish. Research from OECD highlights that countries with transparent, inclusive, and adaptable policies outperform the others. So it is not enough to come here and have these conversations. Let's be part of those economies, those countries whose policies will be 1, inclusive, 2, transparent, 3, adaptable, so that we can outperform others by at least 30%, like the OECD tells us. The UN Conference on Trade and Development has also noted that over 100 countries have introduced digital policies to foster innovation. I want to shout out to these countries. I want to encourage more countries to build up their digital policies and not make it as a gift. It's not a gift. It's not something you are doing as if the population does not deserve it. We deserve great policies. We deserve good governance. We deserve to improve ourselves. And that is why I want to go home and make this count in my policies on everyday work. Moving forward, we need policies, both local and global, that foster open data, innovation hubs, public-private partnerships, and ensuring that equity in digital benefits is real. Let me talk about capacity building, the skills, the knowledge, the institutions. Because when we have policies, we also need to ask ourselves, do we actually have the capacity to pull through? Because it is very easy for those of us who are in the North to think that people in the South can just copy and paste. No, this is Clermont-Ferrand, but I live in Abidjan. I'm going to go away from here and I'm going to ask myself, do I have capacity to pull through? So capacity is not the same as skills. Capacity is governmental, is governing, it is the institutions, it is everything that comes into making our development plans real in every society. So I would say that with strong local institutions and the skilled workforce, even the best policies will be better. But without them, the best policies will falter. The Asian Development Bank estimates that capacity building investments can increase governance effectiveness by up to 40%. So in the digital domain, building local technical capacity is vital. I think it is WEF, the World Economic Forum, that says that nearly 60% of the jobs in the digital economy require skills that are scarce in many developing countries. So literacy programs, tech hubs, all of that are needed to move us forward. Can I talk about cooperation? I'm happy that we've seen a lot of researchers, I've seen civil society, I've seen development partners, I've seen policymakers, I've seen the private sector. We are here, yeah, international organizations. We've met and we've talked cooperation beyond the event, cooperation beyond Clermont-Ferrand, cooperation beyond the conference itself, cooperation beyond LinkedIn. Cooperation beyond social media is very important. No nation, no organization, no matter how big you are, can do it alone. Cooperation can be regional, it can be international, it can be public-private partnerships. All levels of cooperation is vital. I was in Rwanda last week and I learned this new word that is cooperation in action, collaboration for action, collaboration, collaborating for action. This is what we need to make it work. In digital development, cooperation should be evident. There are a lot of initiatives, the digital single market in Europe, the Africa Continental Free Trade and Digital Corridor. There are a lot of these ongoing as well. As the UN Secretary General states, global challenges demand global solutions. That means that if we do not collaborate, if we do not make it intentional that our collaboration should lead to action and should lead to impactful digital development, then we will not reach our global objective. Now, let me run down a quick list of ambitions for my own self, right? These are personal ambitions that I want you to remember as you go home. Bridging the digital divide, that is one of that. Very key. Ensuring that access to digital tools will be everywhere. The current data shows that only 3.7 billion are offline, but we need to work more to bring it lower and lower and lower. There used to be times when almost all of us were offline. And as we come online, gently, I want more of us to migrate and have the benefits of being online. So that is my number one vision, my number one love, my number one plea, my number one ambition, my number one challenge to all of you. Let us preach the digital divide. Ending poverty and inequality is still something. Yes, as we live here, as we go back, we're still faced with poverty. We're still faced with inequality. We're still faced with the wars. We're still faced with injustices across the world. And I think that, yes, while we develop digitally, let us also ask ourselves, is digital development reducing inequalities? Climate-proof infrastructure. I've been very thrilled to see that the green agenda has been central to this conference. And I'm glad that we are attaching more importance to it on a daily basis, and I believe that more importance should be attached. Adapting and building resilient systems are needed so that they can withstand climate shocks, and digital infrastructure can help us monitor and respond to risks and build better. Young people, empowering youth. I've talked about skills, I've talked about capacity. I believe that the youth, especially for someone like me from Africa, are the key to the future. Most of us who are in Clermont-Ferrand today will not be around in the next 50 years, including myself. I'm not sure I'll be around. So we need to make sure that the next generation, whether you want to call it millennials, whether you want to call it Gen Z or the alpha and the beta, the next generation should be able to be tooled, to be capacitated enough to take off from where we are stopping today. So let's empower this youth with the skills they need. Strengthening governance and transparency. I want to come back to that because governance makes the world go round. Innovation is not enough if it's not couched in good governance. It is only when the civic space, when the right space allows thinking, allows productivity, that innovation thrives. Innovation cannot thrive in places where rights are not thriving. As an African woman, I will not finish this address without reminding us that we are still living in a gender-skilled world. And every day, every decision we take, we need to ask ourselves, am I being gender fair? Am I being gender just? Am I being gender responsive? And by the way, I know you living, still remember that we are wearing our pink ribbons. Ensuring health for all, since I'm talking about our pink ribbons, is still something that is clear, very important to me. And I like to say that only people who are alive can work on AI, can work on digital and emerging technologies. So let's keep healthy, let's keep alive. And I believe that over the past 2 years that I've worked in digital health with an organization called Transform Health, I have seen that the application of digital development to the area of health is very key for humanity. And I like to leave that on your table. Lifelong learning. As you know, I learn every day. I'm learning from each of you. I'm going to school. I'm currently studying AI in law again, and sustainable development diplomacy. And I think that is one thing I enjoy as Nnenna from the internet. I can enroll in courses, I can improve myself, I can keep learning. So I think that promoting lifelong learning is something that we want to do in the development world, and the digital is really, really coming into this to help us push. Sit at home, register, go through your courses and improve yourself. Please, as leaders, let us encourage men, women, young people, wherever we are, to get learning, get online, get learning. Learning is one of the key reasons to get online. Yeah, that's the way I want to sell it to you. And finally, genuine cooperation, genuine collaboration. Again, that is my keyword. And I am hoping that as you go from here, you will remember me. You will remember Nnenna from the internet. You will remember that we all need each other, that our collaboration should make it count for everyone, whether they are women, whether they are men, whether they are children, whether they are refugees, whether they are young people, whether they are the older people, that it should make it count. Make it count for me, make it count for you. When I was the chief web advocate at the World Wide Web Foundation, we used to talk about for everyone. The UN says, leave no one behind. In conclusion, making it count for everyone isn't an aspiration of Nnenna alone. I think it's an imperative. It's about infrastructure that connects, people that are empowered, policies that effectively serve, capacity that endures, and cooperation, collaboration that ensures and endures through storms and sunshine alike. As you go home from here, I just want to say, go with your ideas, but also go with renewed commitment. We've met a lot of people. We are ready to turn challenges into triumphs, visions into reality. Bon voyage. Rentrez bien. Have a great journey back home. And when I see you again, you would have made a little more impact from what we've learned from here. Let's make it count for everyone. Let's make it count for me and for you. Again, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear leaders, dear captains, boys and girls, AI and AI assistants, robots, cats and dogs. It's been a great pleasure. It's been an awesome pleasure being in Clermont-Ferrand, being at this conference. I hope that we will make it count today, tomorrow, and until I see you again. Keep online, keep being you, do great things. Thank you.